Rofia and Lawa entered into the house. Lawa pushed Rofia away. Immediately, he sighted Kofo, his wife. And Rofia was wondering what happened, because this was not the negotiation she had with the Afa. He said to her, "Where have you been, my wife? I remember the last time we talked. I told you that our marriage is suffering because you spend more time in your place of business than our home. If someone had told me that you, Kofo, will have the mind to spend days, weeks, and months outside your home because of your business, I would have cursed the person." His wife was shocked and she said to him, "I didn't travel. In fact, since 3 days, I haven't left the walls of this house. I have been here right under your roof, receiving all the maltreatment that came from your end." "Maltreatment?" Lawa asked. "What is happening? I don't seem to understand what is going on. You mean we have been in the same house, and yet I didn't see you or notice your presence? I was only but seeing a masked, dirty and smelling woman. And yes, I maltreated her just so she can leave my house, because I don't know how she gained entrance into our home. Again, Kofo, I ask, what is happening to me?" And Kofo said to him, pointing towards the direction of Rofia, "She has a better explanation to all your curiosities." Lawa said to Rofia, "What are you doing in my house by this time? It is late already." Rofia answered him, "I am here because of your seed in me." "Seed?" Lawa asked. "What is happening? When did this happen?" He knelt down before Kofo, his wife, and said, "Please, my word, I don't know how it happened, and you are my one and only wife. Please don't leave me because of her. I am sorry to have broken our vow, but I can't remember when or how I did this." Kofo smiled, helped her husband up, and said, "I should be the one apologizing, my husband. Please forgive me. I thought I had a friend. I never knew she was a competitor. I sold our home out by simply not controlling my mouth. Sometimes we young wives become overwhelmed with the care our husbands shower on us, and unconsciously we hang speakers broadcasting it, forgetting that people who hear these things can never be 100% happy for us, and some can go to any length just to make sure that what we term our source of joy automatically becomes our source of sorrow. I have learnt my lessons, and of course the hard way. Whatever you do or buy for me can never be on any table of discussion outside this home." She hugged her husband and said, "Welcome home, Lawa, my love. They be don't they carry you, they go where you no know." Rofia said to Kofo, "What did you do?" And Kofo said, "I simply collected my husband back from a thief. I told you that your end will be nothing short of shame and regrets. This is just the beginning. Let the highest bidder win." Lawa said to Rofia, "First thing tomorrow morning, pack your things and leave my house. And Kofo said, "No, darling, she will not pack. At least not now. Until after delivery. See, she's already due. I have got all my plans mapped out. Please permit me to clean up this mess." She then turned to Rofia and said, "This is my home, and you will play by my rules henceforth. You want to stay in my house and enjoy what I'm enjoying as a wealthy man's wife, right? There is no problem at all. But you are now under house arrest so that you don't go and redo what you know has been tampered. And again, make sure you don't come close to my husband, not even in your dreams. If you need anything from him, meet me. And I mean anything, including when labor starts, because I can see that your tummy has dropped. Now, carry your miserable self into your room." Rofia was still standing, and Lawa shouted, "Are you deaf or something? My wife said you should." And just before he completed it, Rofia moved into her room like a rabbit crawling into a hole. She went straight into her bathroom and discovered the soap was missing. And she said, "Abajo," meaning no wonder. She ran out, met Kofo and her husband discussing in a very cuddling position, as it should be for couples. And she knelt down in her condition and said, "Kofo, please don't do this to me. Please, my whole life will be in mess. Give it to me, I beg you, in the name of God." And Kofo said, "Story, give, giver, givest. Have you seen anyone who crawled into a peaceful home to scatter it, that their life is not a mess? Oh, you want to scatter somebody's life and then watch your own properly arranged? Now listen, let me lecture you again. And do me a favor to carry everything you'll be learning here to your coal home breakers. You people ruin your fellow woman's home just to show that you are superior, forgetting that the next minutes can never be predicted by any human on earth. My dear, you see that mess that you're running away from? That is usually the end of any home breaker, no matter how long it takes. It is called karma dealing with you. My only annoyance is that you people are so selfish. I mean, you don't even consider the innocent children you bring into this world through your wicked acts. She turned to her husband and wanted to tell him that they should move into the room, when she suddenly said, "No, this is our home, and we should be comfortable anywhere in this house. Now, you Rofia, crawl back into your room, as I want to have a very good time with my husband." When Rofia left, Lawa asked, "My dear," but she didn't mention anything specifically. But you understood what she wanted. "You ladies are beginning to make me scared." And Kofo said to her husband, "Relax, my dear. I did for you." Let me gist you what happened. As I went into her bathroom earlier today, I saw a black soap. I wanted to ignore, honestly. After all, there is Dudu Oshun, and there are so many Ghanaian black soaps as well, and she can decide to use any to have a bath. But I just remembered immediately how two ladies came to my shop one day. They bought expensive fabrics, the one that wealthy people can only afford. These two Chekelem ladies carried it, and in my mind, I was like, when I tell them the price, they will quickly drop it. But my husband, they shocked my shock that day. They paid, and one of them said, with our full chest, you see this money, it must come back today. Once I get back to the house, I will bathe with that black soap that the Afa gave to us, and then call my ATM immediately. A friend responded, Abio, that soap works wonders that I don't even need to ask twice, and boom, I receive a lot. I just sat where I was that day and said, so all these married men neglecting their wives and children and yet spending heavily on side chicks are all under a hidden force. You need to see the way I was pitying those men. I didn't know that my own husband was under same manipulation. Allah said, that's not true. How can a full-grown man like me be controlled because of soap? Come on now, Abba. You just believe too much on them, say. And Kofo laughed and said, indeed. Okay, when you impregnated her, the man in you was asleep and the boy in you awake. My dear, wake up. Life is more spiritual than it is physically. You are here with me because I, Kofo, your wife, had my bath with that soap and disposed it immediately. Lawa asked, you did? And she said, you know I can't lie to you. I did because I didn't know what to do again. I have been searching her room since 3 days and I couldn't find anything suspicious apart from that soap. And I am grateful I did because you said you were not seeing me and we were both in the same house. But what keeps surprising me is the fact that I bathed with the soap, but it was you that the soap washed because you can now see. They both laughed and then retired back to bed. Throughout that night, Rofia didn't sleep. She was just rolling on the bed, waiting for the next day so she can go redo the charm. She said, the battle line has been drawn and I can't lose out. Not at all. Not when I've not gotten enough money. And when I succeed this time, I must make sure Kofo is chased out of this house completely. She wants to drag with me. Amy Rofia that had seen 99. Okay, we shall see who will lift the trophy. As early as 6 o'clock a.m., Kofo was awake and she prepared jollof rice that will be enough for the 3 of them. She scooped her husband's own into a warmer. She gave it to him and said, Rofia penetrated this home through food and I have learnt my lessons. And so, get ready to be carrying full flasks like a primary school child because you will not leave this house again without food. Her husband thanked her for being an intentional wife and also promised to be disciplined too and set boundaries, especially with ladies. She served Rofia with fruits and vegetables and said to her, I am only doing this because of your state. That child didn't offend me in any way. I only feel sorry he or she doesn't have a good mother. Rofia wasn't interested in all her gibberish. Her sole interest was on the jollof rice because as a pregnant woman, her longer was on the other side. So she finished her portion almost immediately. Kofo and Lawa went out together for the day's business. And Rofia wanted to sneak into the kitchen to scoop more food because she enjoyed it, only to discover that Kofo locked the door. She said, "Kai, Kofo is really doing too much. I need to go redo this charm so that Lawa can push her just the way he did when they returned and run towards me and remain forever in my arms. Because this second chance, I will not lose guard at all." She quickly had a bath and dressed up to go see the affair. When she got to the door, she discovered that Kofo had locked the entrance door as well. "Hey!" she shouted. "So this Kofo is so smart, meaning she was only free with me. This girl has succeeded in leaving me stranded. So she meant that house arresting. God, what have I gotten myself into? No, now, she can't win. Tomorrow is another day. I will use my pregnancy as an excuse and as a means to leave this house. Not be me again." Kofo was comfortably seated in her shop, laughing at her because she was monitoring all her movements and activities with her phone. She said, "After standing there, my dear, just do about turn and march to your room." Just when she finished saying that, Rofia went into her room and she laughed again and said, "Obedient child, nonsense. This is just the beginning. You haven't seen anything yet. I will keep dishing them out one after the other." She quickly put out a salesgirl's vacancy post outside her shop and she said, "All the mistakes that I made that brought my family into this mess, I will correct them one after the other." After the day sales, her husband picked her up and they went home together. She opened the door and Rofia welcomed them with, "I will not take this again from you. Why will you lock me up like a prisoner? What if labor started?" And Kofo said to her, "My house, my rules. If your labor starts any day that we are not around, then you pick up your phone and call. And hey, remember, it must be me." And Lawa said to Rofia, "Don't ever constitute such nuisance again. We are used to warm welcoming whenever we step out and not shout. We don't keep mad people here." And Kofo added, "Or dogs." Lawa said, "Abiyo, my wife, please chain her back to her room and meet me inside." Kofo said to Rofia, "This was how you wanted him to treat me, right? But the table has turned around. Now, baby girl, enjoy the meal that you have dished." Rofia then said to her, "Please, Kofo, remember the good old days and please forgive me. The torture is too much. Please, I want to go see my daughter as early as possible. Please don't lock me up again tomorrow. I beg you with everything that you hold dear." And Kofo looked into her eyes and said, "You would have considered that same good old days before leaving all the single guys out there for your friend's husband. And for the torture, I am not calmer. And so I can't determine the height, the breadth, and the depth of the torture. But one thing I can tell you is that this is just the beginning. She went into the kitchen, microwaved food, and served everyone. The next day, as early as 8 o'clock a.m., Rofia heard the knock. She opened the door, and it was Kofo and a doctor. She was surprised, and she asked, "What are you up to?" And Kofo responded, "I only granted your wish. You said you wanted to see your doctor as early as possible today. And as a good girl that I am, here is Dr. Ismail, our family doctor. So are you willing to let him in or not?" "No, yes, I mean, Kofo, oh God, don't do this now. You know I am due. Please, I need to go see my own personal doctor." And Kofo asks, "But why? Dr. Ismail here is also very experienced." And Rofia said, "I am not sure it is a good idea to change a doctor at this stage." And Kofo asked, "Says who? So if the doctor has relocated, or let's say died, you will not allow another doctor, eh?" You see, when someone makes a mistake once, it is understandable. But when you repeat such mistake for the second time, then you are nothing but a fool. Rofia, my darling, when dining with the devil, which you are representing, you eat with a very long spoon. For the last time, I ask again, will you allow him or not? And Rofia said, "I am fine." And Kofo said to her, "Of course you will be fine, because you have met a greater grace." She apologized to the doctor and then went down to the sitting room. She said, "I am so sorry, sir, for the drama. I am just a woman on a mission to correct her mess. And please, I will be needing your help. I will contact you with the details once I get to my shop." The doctor said, "That's fine. Please extend my regards to Lawa, your husband." And he took his leave. Kofo packed her husband's luggage, served Rofia, and locked up everywhere again and off to her shop. Luckily for her, she got a good sales girl, and within 1 week, she was able to put her through on what she thought was important. One morning, Kofo served Rofia her breakfast, but she noticed that she wasn't agile as before, and she was only saying, And as a mom, she knew Rofia was in labor pain. She quickly settled her husband and called the doctor. Rofia started shouting, "I am in pain. Take me to the hospital. My water just broke. Please." And Kofo said to her, "You don't need to shout. You need to relax so that you can have the strength to push your baby. The more you shout, the more exhausted you become. So relax, because you will have your baby in this house." Rofia said, "Eshanumi," meaning, "Have mercy on me. Please don't repay evil with evil. Don't let anything happen to me or my baby." Kofo smiled and said to her, "I am happy you know you are evil. But you should as well know your colleagues in evil doing, because I, Kofo, is not in your group. The doctor is already on his way, and I have planned long time ago for this day. She said, give me your hand, let me help you. She walked her down gently to another room. Rofia was so surprised to see the setting, just like a hospital. And Kofo said to her, you know that saying? Money is a defense. I, Kofo, wants to prove it again. When I said you were under house arrest till I am done with you, I meant every bit of that word. This room, you might see it as a delivery room, but I see it as a place where the truth is about to be unveiled. I wish you safe delivery, my friend. She left there and went outside just to wait for the doctor. And Rofia said, I thought I knew my friend, but I don't know her one bit. Kofo keeps surprising me, and she is super smart. The way her mouth ran like tap, I thought her brain would be empty. She keeps unveiling new chapter every day, slow and steadily unveiling clean plans. And the worst is, you can't even predict her next move. Omo, Kofo is deep. She is deeper than the ocean. Let me just deliver my baby in peace and pack my things, because this babe is another Kofo that I've never met. Very soon, the doctor arrived with a nurse and a cleaner. And within 4 hours, Rofia delivered a baby girl, and she named her Rashidat. Kofo walked into the room like an iron lady, thanked the doctor for coming through for her, and said, please, one more thing, what we discussed. And the doctor rubbed a cotton-tipped swab on the inside of the cheek of the child. And Kofo said, my husband is right in the hospital waiting for you. Rofia asked from where she was lying down, what is happening? What are you doing to my baby? And Kofo said to her, relax, my dear friend. You just returned from a journey of life and death. You need to sleep and worry less. Since the hunter has decided to keep shooting without missing, Eleke the bird has decided to keep flying without perching. I told you this was not just a delivery room.